Hey, it's MBS here. Hey, welcome to 2022. Can you believe it? This year is already here. I hope it's a really wonderful year for you. I hope you get what you want. Speaking of getting what you want, let's talk about asking for help. And this is a topic on my mind because I'm going to be asking you for help getting word out about the new book out into the world. That's what authors do. At this stage, they turn desperate and they start asking for help. And actually, I don't want to be desperate. I want to be adult. I want to be clean. I want to be clear. I want to be bold. So I've been reflecting on what does it take to ask for help well, because it is a powerful thing to be able to do, is to have the courage to ask for help. And truthfully, I think in some ways, many of the things that I've achieved, I've done because I've got a certain fearlessness of asking for help and then asking again and then asking again. Following up is certainly part of the secret. But I've thought of 4 things that I consider at my best on how I ask for help. So here we go. This might be useful for you as well. Step number 1, and my coach Ernest Oriente taught me this: don't negotiate against yourself. When you're thinking about what you want to ask for help for or what you want, it's so easy to start here and then go, well, they probably won't say yes, and I probably shouldn't ask for that, and kind of lower your request, shrink it down, make it more palatable for them, but actually you're trying to make it safer, more comfortable for you. So it is really worth it to spend time on that question, which you might know from the Coaching Habit book, which is, so what do you want? What do you really want? And, in the Coaching Habit, that book is the 4th question of 7. It's right in the heart of the book, because I think in some ways it's the hardest question to answer, which means that it's the most powerful question if you can get really clear on what you want. So that's the step number 1, which is getting clear on what you want and then not negotiating against yourself. Here's the second tip I would suggest in terms of asking for help, is make a clear request. In many ways, we metaphorically or sometimes literally kind of mumble out our request and kind of go, well, hopefully they'll read between the lines, or they'll understand the subtext, or they'll somehow get a transmission from my brain to their brain and they'll understand the request that I'm making. And people don't. People do not understand what you're asking for unless you make it a clean, clear request. So it might be worth even writing down what you want to ask. It might be worth practicing. It might be worth rehearsing. Say to somebody who's not part of the game, if I ask you for this, what do you think I'm asking for? So number 1, don't negotiate against yourself when you're getting clear on what you want. 2, once you know what you want, make a clean, clear request. Number 3 is to then shut up. And this in some ways ties to the first 2, which is often we then muddy the water by talking more, asking more, kind of beginning to tell people that they don't have to do the thing that we've already asked them just to do. So just as with a good question, ask it and then be quiet and allow them to step forward into the space because it's their turn now. So don't negotiate against yourself, make a clear request, shut up and allow them to take their turn. And the 4th one is to not mind what the answer is. And if you read the last newsletter, the last one of the year, that was one of my quotes that I shared, which is like, the secret to a good life is to not mind what happens. And that's hard because, when I think about the book, for instance, I kind of do mind what happens, but I'm trying really hard to sit with not minding. And as many of you will have heard me say, the secret to an adult-to-adult relationship is asking for what you want, knowing that the answer may be no. So make the request and then don't mind what happens, because they can say yes, and they can say no, and they can say maybe. That's their role as an adult being in conversation with you. Now, you can continue the negotiation, you can go back and forth, but staying open to what their answer is I think the secret to maybe the final step in being clean and clear and adult in asking for what you want. Now, I've got an agenda. It's not going to surprise you, which is I'm asking for help with the new book. The most obvious way to do that is to buy it. And thank you to the many, many, many of you who've already done that. Some of you bought 1, some of you bought 3. Some of you bought 12. All of those deals are available at howtobegin.com. But there's other ways you can help as well in terms of getting the word out, mentioning it to a friend, mentioning it on a newsletter, posting about it on social media. Anything you can do to raise the flag, fly the flag, bang the drum, and just help get the word out is really helpful. I do love seeing people with photos of their books. So when yours arrives, taking a photo and posting it somewhere with the hashtag #HowToBegin, amazing. But anything you can do to help out, if you're so moved, I really appreciate it. Now I'll shut up, and you can say yes, and you can say no, and you can say maybe. Thank you. You're awesome, and you're doing great.